It's Julesy and
Damn it, Wesley.
we are back for another review. For what?
Black Mirror season 5, Striking Vipers.
Nobody asked for this review again, but I figured since he was here already, and we already just did another review, and we were talking about this when we went to the store, because the episode was so crazy that it needs to be talked about.
It does.
So we are going to talk about it, but do you want to plug your Do-Rag Fest first?
Okay, also, like, if you're watching this right now, I'm assuming it's going up sometime soon, but Saturday, June 15th, Charlotte, North Carolina, you need to show up for Do-Rag Fest. It's a Juneteenth celebration, the blackest experience you're ever going to have in the South. Put with your do-rag on, your bonnet on, your hijab, your turban, whatever kind of headpiece is going to be, whether to protect your waves, your hair, your edges, all that stuff. It's all cool. We're out here celebrating black culture the way it's supposed to be done. Loud, unapologetic, and ignorantly, with brightly colored fabrics tied around.
You definitely did radio yesterday. That's why you're ready for this.
I'm always ready.
That was too on point. Oh, where's my phone? Okay, it's over here. All right, I'll see y'all there. Okay, so we are discussing Black Mirror season 5, the first episode called
Striking Vipers,
which features. Ooh, how you say his name?
I'm not even going. I ain't even gonna try. It's Yaya something.
He fine as fuck. Whatever the fuck his name is, I'm gonna learn it too in case I ever run into him.
The other father in Us.
The fine father, the one that's not dating white women.
Wow.
That one? Yes.
Wait, what's his name? He date white women?
He got a little 5 foot nothing Japanese American girl.
Are you sure she's not like Filipino?
No.
She's not even dark Asian?
Mm-hmm. She Western Asian with a white mama.
I mean, you know.
With a white daddy. Don't matter semantics. I don't even care about the race. It just bothers me that he's like 6'5" and she's literally like 4'11".
I mean, listen, you know big niggas like crushing little things now.
So, in this first episode of Black Mirror, which is on Netflix, it's really easy to watch. It is a virtual reality game that... What's Yaya's name? Is it Carl? He's Carl?
Yeah, that's Carl.
So, Carl, who is played by a nigga whose name I'm gonna keep fucking up, and then Danny, who is played by Anthony Mackie. They are both in relationships, though. Danny is married to the actress Nicole Bahari.
South Carolina stand up.
She's fine.
We got all the fine women in South Carolina.
She's fine. I don't remember her name in the show neither, but
wifey, we just gonna call her wife.
The wife. And then Carl has a woman who he's recently met and has seen.
He's a playboy. He's a bachelor.
Okay.
He's living it up in the city.
So Carl and Danny are close friends, and Carl gives Danny a virtual reality game for his birthday.
Well, specifically, Carl gives Danny an updated version of the video game they've been playing since they were like teenagers, young adults and stuff, right? Striking Vipers. It's like the equivalent to our Street Fighter, tanking, and shit like that, right? They got a new edition that just dropped. This one has VR. Mind you, if you play video games, you know a lot of games are coming out in VR right now, so the story isn't too far from existing as far as technology goes.
So somehow they put the VR thing and it like warps them into the
gaming experience.
Yes, so they can feel, their bodies can feel everything that happens in the experience. And so within 2 times playing the games, the first time Yaya tries to make a move, right? So Carl tries to make a move. Carl.
Okay, so Juicy clearly can't contain herself, but for anybody that's played a video game before, a lot of times,
I don't play video games.
You know that there's certain move sets, right? So it's been a while. Danny's rusty. He can't remember like how to do the little fireball move and the spinning kicks. Carl is kicking his ass and stuff. So once Danny finally figures out how to control his character and stuff, there's a brief pause in a moment in which I stopped and I was like, this better not be no freaky sex shit. And sure enough, Carl jumps up and wraps his thighs around Danny's face and throws him to the ground. And next thing you know, they fucking in the video game.
So Danny is always a little hesitant, but Danny is also married, where Carl is the bachelor. Now, so through the episode, they kind of get addicted to this experience of like fucking each other. Video game. And so very conveniently, because you know, Danny picks a female character and Carl picks a rip.
No, Carl has the female character.
Oh, Carl is the female?
Yeah, Carl is the female.
So Danny's fucking Carl.
Yeah, Danny's the top.
I was so confused. Wait. Because I feel like this could be a really firmly believes that we are sexually fluid beings, right? That the natural being of us is that without society's ideology, that we are naturally sexually fluid, right? And so the idea of this being gay or whatever, that doesn't bother me. I think what's so hilarious to me about this is this, like, all right, well, what if this was me, right? Like, you know, you're trying to, like, I do think, like, if I get to be a character in a video, because, like, now you're changing the experience. I think there is the whole, like, who's the top, bottom, ha, 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 who's receiving, and what are they sensing in their body. But I do think that if I, as a woman, I believe everyone's sexually fluid on the spectrum, right? And so I personally skew more heterosexual, which I don't think is a fortunate thing either. There's that. So as someone who doesn't necessarily enjoy the pleasure of being a woman with another woman, I think it would be fascinating for me to be in a male body and have sex without, you know, physically becoming a man.
Right.
So, like, if I was in a virtual reality game and I got to be this ripped abs character and I'm like, ka-chow, chow, chow, and then I'm like, let me bang you from the back, bitch.
This will feel like get your dick wet.
Yo! Cause ain't no pussy like no pussy. And I
see why niggas
like,
is cheating all the time.
I just feel like I get that element of it, right? Like, I get the element of the out of body. And I think, cause to me it's like, is this, what is this actually commenting on? Like, what is the commentary here about? Because to me it's like, they're not in their physical bodies. And there's a scene where they're like, okay, am I gay? Let me kiss you.
In real life.
In real life.
They meet up in person outside.
Because they are
the
best game. friends. And this kind of makes them question. This is the part I don't get. I get simulating the sex in the video game and the sensation, but why does that make you incapable of performing with your wife in real life?
Well, because he wasn't interested in performing with his wife in real life.
Niggas ain't taking macaroon.
But also, also the assumption is him, his wife, and his best friend Carl, they were all living together at one point in time. They were all roommates. So it's assumed that him and Carl had, like, a very tight relationship. And then once he got married, Carl disappeared out the picture. So this is them rekindling their friendship, i.e. their relationship.
Is there a comment about the lack of space that black men have to explore their sexuality?
I mean, like,
I feel like that's me reaching, and that's just kind of where my mind almost always goes. When we're looking at particularly black men and intimacy, that my mind always goes to the area that, like, black men in real life do not have the space to explore their sexuality. But I don't actually think this episode goes there.
I don't think the episode goes there. Black Mirror is very specific. Like, Black Mirror is about one thing, and it's about how technology influences and affects society in some of the worst ways and stuff, right? So the episode was more or less about infidelity in a situation where he's cheating with the mind and not necessarily physically. And I think that was, like, the core of the episode and stuff, right? He's cheating on his wife, but he's not really doing it because it's, like, virtual reality. But it's strange because now he has sexual feelings for his best friend in a virtual setting.
Right, because in real life they're not sexually attracted to each other.
They're not. They're not actually gay, but they are having heterosexual sex within a video game, even though...
I would wonder, so how different is the sensations that men and women feel during sex? And so how does that replicate itself between Carl and Danny?
Because
Carl is the one that becomes hooked, and Danny is much more capable of, like, walking away.
But at the same time, Carl even admits he's tried fucking other players in the game. He even fucked the polar bear. It's not the same as when Danny do it, right? So it's just something about how Danny is stroking in the game.
Okay, so now that Carl took it from a polar bear. Carl got fucked by a polar bear. And I just feel like, because, like, a bear is a gay terminology, that there's some, like, my mind just went a whole nother place, and I just had all the giggles.
Happy Pride Month, everybody. This is how you start off Pride Month.
But yo, Carl was like, I done tried everything, and I done fucked the polar bear, and I still can't stop thinking of you.
I need you.
And I pocketed that line I'm gonna save that and use that again in life.
After watching the episode, I felt dumb because I realized they gave away the twist of the whole episode in the very beginning, even in the title, right? So the name of the video game they're playing is called Striking Vipers. A term for a dick is a snake, right? So, and even the logo that you see throughout is just like two snakes intertwined with each other. They were. I don't know if this is just commentary on like the gaming community just being a bunch of bros, dick measuring.
Okay, so the episode ends
with them fucking on a rooftop.
with the characters fucking on a rooftop.
No, they fucking on the rooftop. There was an agreement made between the wife, the husband, and I guess like his virtual reality mistress, in which on Danny's birthday and stuff, he gets to play this video game with his best friend, and his wife gets to go out, and the wifey gets to be on her own out here pulling niggas at the bar.
But I mean, there's things like STDs and HPV and shit that I just feel like fucking in real life can't be as fun as fucking. I feel like the virtual reality setup sounds pretty cool though.
I mean, at least he's not gonna get a bitch
like
pregnant.
let Nicole let his wife do the VR and fuck who she wanna fuck in the game.
You know, so I'm upset because I thought the twist was gonna be, I thought she was gonna be like, why you want to game so much? And she was gonna log in under his profile.
And then go fuck Danny.
And then Danny was gonna fuck her.
Oh yeah, fuck Carl.
And then like I feel like cool twist would have been like, okay, both of them have fucked Carl, and now they like mad at each other because they're trying to get different Carl, but Carl don't know.
But I think the wife would have been turned out because she'd been like, oh, this is what a dick feel like. Oh,
I see why you fucking Carl. Okay.
That tip real raw. Okay. I want to know. And so I feel like if the wife had gotten to the VR and because Danny is the dude and she would have been the dude character.
Yeah. I mean, so.
It would have been a wrap.
I mean,
it would have
been dope, but I mean, I feel like the low hanging fruit would have been like for like a darker turn. Like maybe the last thing would have been like his son. So Danny has a son. So I feel like the dark one would have been like Danny's son logging into the game, not saying nothing, and then Carl showing up, and then his son ends up fucking Carl. Like that was because it's like I mean black. This is probably the safest Black Mirror episode they have. Like Black Mirror usually gives us like one soft episode every season where it's like love and shit, but I thought they were gonna go darker, but I appreciate them giving us a black episode.
Yo, I thought the episode was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was a little, my mind was just spinning at like, what was it?
What the
like,
fuck
what
is
was
this
trying
shit?
to say?
What? Do yourself a favor and like watch the episode if you haven't seen it already. If you want to see like two black men live their best lives in the Asian fantasy fucking in all the most exotic of places, like a beach, an abandoned rooftop, a dirty Chinese back alley, an Asian bathhouse. Black Mirror got you. I wish they had given us at least 2 more episodes this season. I would prefer they give us more black episodes like this with an all black cast because we are in the future, and you know it was a good episode though.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it.
And I feel
It caught me off guard.
this is what, like, when we just reviewed Ma, I feel like if Ma had been offered on Netflix, I would have enjoyed it just as much too, because this was sort of like a mindfuck.
It wasn't mine. This episode of Black Mirror wasn't afraid to commit to how wild and ridiculous it was. We just gonna have 2 people dip themselves down in virtual reality, and y'all can figure out if they're gay or not, or if that even matters. The sexuality mean the same thing in virtual reality.
I don't know, because I want to be careful with how I speak on this, right? Because I'm not a queer person, so who am I to say how this does or does not benefit our understanding of queer identity? But I think it does challenge the way a lot of people view, particularly those who are firmly homophobic, how we view sexuality. And I think this kind of does speak to the fact that like sexuality is naturally fluid, because a lot of us don't even know what we like about sex. And so
It just feels good.
Right? And so I think what's interesting is this does challenge, well, what do you actually like about sex? Because they're still having very heterosexual sex in the game.
Game is just both of them are heterosexual.
Well, they get to feel the sensation of it, but I imagine they're feeling the sensation of it from one, differently than like, well, unless they are, I don't know. How they actually had, like, what are they feeling is what I would question.
Yeah, it's a lot of different
factors. And I do think that goes into...
it's a lot of different...
Anywho, that does go into, well, what do you actually like about sex?
And like, I was under the impression the episode was going to be about identity, specifically like a transformative identity complex, but that wasn't it, because neither of the characters in real life would identify as trans, and even Carl himself was still comfortable living a heterosexual lifestyle.
And
he was just turned on by the activities of sex within the virtual world. So it was just more or less like he was attracted to the feelings that he was getting from technology and stuff.
And so is it more of a commentary about how video games can be masturbatory?
That could be it, because that very well could be it. I mean, it does give you a lot to think about, but I feel
play Sims.
I feel like this was more about like power fantasies and you being somebody else versus being trans, or like a trans positive story and
or
stuff.
A queer positive.
Yeah, or queer positive in that. I know like there are movies that's just like The Matrix that do have a very trans positive approach to it, in which Neo is somebody in the real world, but in virtuality he finds out who he really is and he lives that true identity. And even the directors of the movie came out as trans and are trans people now, I believe. I can't remember the new name. I think it's like Lou and Lala Lula. I don't know, something. They're white. I really don't care that much. But all the way around, like, this isn't so much a trans story as it is a
I never thought it was a commentary on gender.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
I always thought it was more about like sexuality and
relationships or
sexuality,
fidelity.
No, sexuality and the ways that we attach ourselves to technology, as you were saying.
Right.
So I think, I didn't really think there was, for me, there wasn't really like a, just because Carl plays a woman in the video game that attached himself to his gender, because that, I don't think the gender thing was ever addressed in the real world. It was always a sexuality thing that was addressed.
Okay, so as a black woman, if you were in a relationship, would you consider what your partner was doing as cheating and stuff?
Absolutely.
Like, okay, so it's like if your partner like gets home before you and he starts jacking off to like cam girls and stuff, right? Would you consider that?
I would consider that a problem. I don't know if I would consider that cheating.
So Carl is having virtual reality sex with somebody, which he may or may not have actual feelings for.
But the problem is that as he admitted, he tried sex. It wasn't just the sex in the virtual reality. It wasn't just the logging on to the VR and having sex in the video game that turned him on. It was explicitly having sex with Danny's character. And so when there is an attachment to a specific character, that is cheating.
So I think that's sort of like the core of the episode that gets overlooked outside of the other issues of like identity, sexuality, and fluidity.
Maybe I'm thinking too deeply.
Because it's like the wife, like Nicole and stuff. She has a very important role in all this too, to the point where she feels inadequate and she questions if she should even cheat on her husband because he forgets it's their fucking anniversary and shit. And some niggas at the bar like, "Hey girl, you look fine. Let me get you a drink." She's like, "Nah, don't do that. My husband's coming." And then she tells him, "I've been pulling niggas at the bar for the past 30 minutes waiting on you. And I should have, but I didn't."
But I keep going back to the idea that as a woman, and I understand how our vaginas work and the pH balance of all that I just think it's wildly unfair that what Nicole Bahari ends up with is I can go hoe in real life and catch all them fluids.
It's the future.
And this nigga gets a hoe in the virtual reality where I could still, I don't know. I don't know. So let us know in the comments down below what your thoughts on Striking Viper episode 1 of season 5 of Black Mirror, which is now on Netflix. It's not sponsored, but we just letting you know if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah. And then for all of y'all in the Charlotte area, come do Right Fest this Saturday, June 15th. Be black and be proud with your waves. Motherfucker, my good hairstyle. Well, it's on its way out anyway. I need to wash my hair.
You giving me Halle Berry Boomerang vibes right now. I'm gonna act like there's something in this glass.
Would you like some more? There's
sure.
More. Cheers to y'all hoes.
Boom.
All right. Deuces. You don't want no juice?